Hello, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are breaking down a truly fascinating ancient fable that kind of forces us to take a long, hard look right in the mirror. We're not just going to tell you a simple story today. We're actually going to do a deep breakdown of the true cost of laziness, all drawn from a classic tale about a guy named Kishore. We're going to dissect the psychology of shortcuts, the hidden traps of absolute convenience, and a brilliantly disguised lesson from the divine. Okay, let's dive into this. What if you possessed a tool that did absolutely all your chores, but you could never, ever tell it to stop? It sounds like a dream at first, doesn't it? Just imagine a world where literally all your physical labor is outsourced to a magical device. But as we'll see, this seemingly perfect convenience comes with a hidden, high-stakes condition that turns a dream into a complete and utter nightmare. Part 1, The Lazy Devotee. And this brilliantly illustrates the core contradiction of Kishorelal's character. On one hand, you have his intense, unwavering spiritual devotion. Every single morning and every single evening, he flawlessly executes his prayers to Lord Shiva. He is entirely dedicated. But on the other hand, you have extreme physical laziness. I mean, when he isn't praying, he's sleeping. He completely refuses to do any field work. Up in Kailash, even goddess Parvati actually points this out to Lord Shiva, asking why a devotee who literally only chants and sleeps isn't being guided properly. So Kishorelal's devotion is perfect, but his practical, day-to-day existence completely useless. Well, this brings us to his wife Kalawati, whose immense frustration finally just boils over. She tells him, "Go harvest the crops and bring back mustard greens. If you forget, there's no dinner. The crops in their field are overgrown, wild animals might eat them, or thieves might steal them." She is completely at her wit's end. This is a perfectly reasonable demand from a partner, right? Yet Kishorelal completely ignores her warnings. He doesn't even flinch. He just goes right back to sleep on his bed, completely indifferent to the reality of his own household. So the escalation happens fast. First, he totally ignores his wife. Next, Kalawati, having had absolutely enough of this, marches right into the kitchen, grabs a bucket of cold water, and dumps it right on top of him as he sleeps. Just a harsh splash of cold reality. A massive argument ensues, of course, and finally, a furious and incredibly victimized Kishorelal storms out of the house. He marches straight to the temple, in a weeping rage, demanding answers from his deity. Section 2. Lord Shiva's Magical Boon. Seeing his devotee crying, Lord Shiva personally appears. Kishorelal begs for something, anything that will just listen to him and do all his work. And Shiva grants him exactly this, the divine mini Trident. It's a magical tool that automatically completes commanded tasks when placed on objects. Whatever you touch it to, that object will carry out whatever physical effort you desire. It is, for all intents and purposes, the ultimate shortcut to a frictionless life. But here is the catch. Lord Shiva lays down a very strict condition. If you stop the trident from working, it vanishes forever. So the crucial point is that Lord Shiva isn't just handing out free passes here. He is secretly setting a trap for Kishorelal's laziness. Remember, Shiva agreed with Parvati earlier that Kishorelal needed a lesson. By stating that the trident will vanish if interrupted, Shiva is planting a brilliant Trojan horse. He is giving Kishorelal exactly what he asked for, but with a condition that demands perfect foresight. Section 3. A life of zero effort. Look at how quickly he builds dependency on this thing. He wants tea, he commands the pot, and immediately milk, sugar, and tea leaves boil together automatically. The garden needs watering? He touches the hose, and it pours exactly 1 bucket of water on the flowers. A power cut hits? The hand fan cools him until the power returns. Notice how incredibly smart he's being here at first? He is setting clear boundaries, exactly 1 bucket of water, precisely until the power comes back. He thinks he has completely mastered the system, but he is getting dangerously comfortable. Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4, The Endless Feast. One day, Kishorelal is hungry for a massive feast. He touches his plate with the trident and issues a fatal command. "Feed me delicious dishes." Now, look closely at that phrasing. Unlike the hose where he specified 1 bucket or the fan where he specified until the power returns, he gave a command with absolutely no limit. He completely forgot to give the magic a stopping condition. Immediately, the magic takes over, and it starts as a total dream. An endless flow of sweets, brand new flavors, a continuous influx of rich, heavy dishes feeding him automatically.
It's incredible at first. He's in absolute heaven enjoying these delicious flavors. But the food just keeps coming. It doesn't pause, it doesn't slow down. Faster and faster, mountains of rich food are violently flying into Kishorilal's mouth without a single second to breathe.
And then the horrifying realization sets in. Kishorilal is in suffocating agony. His stomach is physically bursting. Yet the magical plate just keeps producing an endless supply of food. It's blindly following his orders. It will never stop. Kishorilal is suddenly trapped by his own magical shortcut. If he stops it, he loses the divine gift forever, breaking Lord Shiva's one rule. If he doesn't stop it, he will literally eat himself to death.
Section 5. The True Lesson Learned.
Everything suddenly comes to a head. Kalawati hears strange noises, runs out from the kitchen, and finds her husband suffocating under a mountain of magical food. He is backed completely into a corner. To save his own life, he is forced to make a painful choice. He looks at the plate, and in a blind panic, he screams, "Stop!" He issues the one command he was expressly forbidden to give, breaking Lord Shiva's golden rule just to save himself from his own lazy creation. And instantly, the aftermath is completely quiet. The magical trident vanishes forever, returning to Lord Shiva. The ultimate shortcut is gone in a flash. Kishorilal is just left sitting there, completely out of breath, surrounded by a massive mess, with absolutely no magic left to clean it up. The divine tool is gone, but the lesson? The lesson has permanently landed. Now, what's really interesting about this is the profound realization it triggers for Kishorilal. Relying on others for small chores brings great trouble. Think about it. Lord Shiva brilliantly cured his devotee's laziness not by punishing him with hardship, but by punishing him with extreme convenience. By giving him exactly what his lazy heart desired, Shiva allowed Kishorilal to experience the absolute terror of completely losing control over his own life and his bodily autonomy. He realized that doing your own small chores isn't a burden. It's actually the very thing that keeps your life in balance. Just looking at his total transformation is wild. He starts on day 1 completely crippled by extreme laziness, avoiding all responsibility. By day 2, he receives the divine shortcut and thinks he's beaten the whole system. By week 2, he is hopelessly trapped by the endless feast. The result? Years later, he is completely transformed into a hardworking farmer. From that fateful day forward, Kishorilal abandoned his laziness for good. He happily headed to the fields every single day to do his own work, and his life became genuinely joyful and fulfilling. Let's wrap up with a final question for you to think about. What shortcuts are you seeking in your own life right now, and what is their true hidden cost? Whether it's relying way too heavily on technology, cutting corners at work, or maybe just avoiding the small, difficult chores in our relationships, this ancient story asks us to really look at the boundaries we set, because sometimes the effort we are trying so desperately to avoid is the exact effort required to keep our lives from spinning wildly out of control. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.